In this video, I will show you how to change the default layout of Blazor application and how to create this layout. Then in the next video, I will show you how to create a second layout, which is the admin layout. So if we click on Home, Counter and Weather, we have this application layout. And if we click on Dashboard, we obtain this admin layout. So we have this layout with the dashboard component, with the users component, and with the messages component. And if we click on the name of the application, we have this application layout. You can find the link of the next video in the description. So first let's create a new Blazor project. So here we can make a right click, then add, then new project. So here let's select C# and Web, then let's scroll down and let's select Blazor Web Assembly Standalone Application, then next. Let's call it Blazor App 1, then next. Then let's select .NET 9, then create. Then let's select this project as the startup project. So here we can make a right click, then set as startup project. So here we can see that this project is now selected. Let's run it. And we obtain this default application. So now I will show you how to change the layout of the application. So in this application we have this folder, 3W root folder, that contains the index page. And in this page we can see that we have the head, we have the body, and here we have this div that has the ID app. So this ID will be used to display the app component. So if we go to the file program.cs, we can see that we will display the app component in the HTML element having the ID app. So the app component that we have here is this app component. And in this component, we can see that if the URL is defined, we will use the layout, main layout. And if the URL is not defined, then we will use the same layout, which is main layout. So by default, all the components of the application will use this layout. So main layout that we have here is defined in the layout folder. So here we can see that we have this component. So in this component, we will display the nav menu, then we will display the content of the different pages. So now let's create a new layout file and let's use it as the default layout. So let's create it in the layout folder and let's create a new component. And let's call it app layout. Let's delete this code. Then let's copy this statement. And let's paste it here. Then let's create a layout using Bootstrap. So let's go to the documentation website of Bootstrap. Let's go to the first link, then docs. Then we need the source code of the navbar. So here under components, let's click on navbar. Then let's copy the source code that allows us to obtain this navbar. And let's paste it here. Then let's add a bottom margin after this navbar. So just here we can add margin bottom of 3 units. Then let's delete fluid. And let's change the name of the application in the navbar. So here we can write Blazor app, for example. Then here we have this UL element that contains several items. So we have the home item, we have the link item, and we have other items. So for the home item, we can delete active and let's replace it with text dark. Then let's delete this attribute. And we can set the URL to the root URL, which is /. So here we can do the same thing. Then let's create another item for the counter component. So we can copy this. Let's paste it here. So here we can write counter. And the URL is /counter. Then let's create another item for the weather component. So here we can write weather. And the URL is /weather. We can delete this item. So here we have this drop-down list, and we have this disabled item, so we can delete it as well. Then we have this form, so we can delete it. And for this drop-down list, I want to display it at the right. So after this UL element, let's create another UL element. And let's define the class. So the class will be the same class that we have here. So we can copy it from here. And let's paste it here. Then let's move this drop-down list to this UL element. So let's cut this code. And let's paste it here. Also, we can display this text using the dark color. So here we can write text dark. And let's change the text of this item. So here we can write admin. Then after this nav element, let's create a div that will contain the content of the different pages. So we can create this div, which is a bootstrap container, and we can add a bottom margin of 3 units. And here we will display the content of the different pages. Now let's use this layout as the default layout of the application. So let's go to the app component, and let's replace main layout with app layout. Let's save all the files, and let's run the application. And we obtain this application. So here we have the home component, then here we have the counter component, and this is the weather component. But if we click on this item, we can see that we don't have the drop-down list. So to fix this, we need to add additional JavaScript files. So let's go to the documentation website of Bootstrap, then Docs. And here we can see that to use dropdowns, we need to add popper.js in addition to bootstrap.js. So we can copy the source code that we have here, but bootstrap.js is already available in the Blazor application. So I will just copy the popper.js file. So we can copy this script element. Then let's go to the index file. So it is just here. And let's paste it here. Then let's add bootstrap JavaScript. So here, if we expand the lib folder, we can see that we have bootstrap, then dist, then JavaScript, and we have this bootstrap JavaScript file. So we need to include it in the index page. Let's run the application. Then let's click on admin. And here we can see that we have these items. In the next video, I will show you how to create this admin layout. You can find the video link in the description.